the younger Dryas Comet impact event that wiped out an ancient civilization. The Clovis civilization, megafauna, megaflora, the Clovis Comet of 12,800 years ago. Scientists agree that this was what had taken place. The Earth was hit by a fragmented comet around 13,000 years ago at the end of the Pleistocene era, and scientists are now starting to agree about this. The new research paper submitted in Scientific Reports regarding an ancient civilization in what is modern-day Syria was wiped out by the cataclysm as well. We know that this comet was fragmented into many pieces. Some of them were a mile long, and most of them fell in, as we see from the map, in the northern hemisphere. So this modern-day Syria discovery, wiped out by the cataclysm, academics finally come around to the idea that yes, this event did happen. Even the skeptic Michael Shermer, who famously debated Graham Hancock on the Joe Rogan podcast, has tweeted Graham saying, "Okay, Graham, I shall adjust my priors in light of more research like this and modify my credence about your theory." The evidence always spoke for itself for a lot of people, but it's positive to see him address Graham Hancock in a public manner like that. So what have the scientists discovered? Well, remnants of glass have been found that could only have been created during a high impact event, such as this, comet impact. Other minerals such as chromium, iron, nickel, and others were discovered too, all of which form at temperatures higher than 2,200 degrees, according to a statement from the University of California, Santa Barbara. The site the discovery was made in is shown as Abu Huraira, which was abandoned about 5,000 years ago. The glass finds are believed to have been formed from the instantaneous melting and vaporization of regional biomass, soils, and floodplain deposits, followed by instantaneous cooling. This is really only common during impact events. Graham Hancock and others such as Roland Carlson have long said that it was likely a fragmented comet, and that it is what the scientists are saying now who are analyzing the Syrian finds. A single major asteroid impact could not have caused the widely scattered material discovered at Abu Huraira, and the experts say that it is more likely a fragmented comet. The younger Dryas event is what caused a large megafaunal extinction, seeing the end of the woolly mammoths, species of bison, American horses, and even camels, and giant sloths. It also saw the end of the North American Clovis culture. The evidence is there in the field, and it continues to stack up. 2 years ago, we read about reports of a 19-mile wide crater in Greenland, the Hiawatha crater, that could be related to this cataclysmic event. And in October of 2019, a study was published that said there was a mini ice age about 12,800 years ago that was caused by a comet impact event. But at the beginning of the mini ice age, there were huge levels of burning, and now we know that Abu Huraira was abruptly destroyed from what can only be an impact event. We have new direct evidence of the disaster together with tons of data from around the world. So history is finally being rewritten by this astronomical impact, the celestial body impact, and Earth changes. And concerning the younger Dryas impact hypothesis, or the Clovis Comet hypothesis, as we call it, posit that fragments of this large asteroid, more than 4 kilometers in diameter, disintegrated asteroid or comet struck North America, South America, Europe, and Western Asia around 12,850 years ago, coinciding with the beginning of the younger Dryas cooling event. Multiple meteor airbursts or impacts are claimed to have produced the younger Dryas boundary layer, depositing peak concentrations of platinum, high-temperature spherules, melt glass, and nanodiamonds, forming an isochronous datum at more than 50 sites across the world, about 50 million square kilometers of Earth's surface. Some scientists have proposed that this event triggered extensive biomass burning, a brief impact winter, and the Younger Dryas' abrupt climate change contributed to extinctions of the late Pleistocene megafauna and resulted in the end of the Clovis culture. The view is a minority, the prevailing view being that the Younger Dryas was generated by an influx of glacial meltwater into the North Atlantic. Well, because of the fact that they found all these spherules, shows that the evidence. The evidence given by the proponents of a valid or a mega meteorite or compact event, comet event, includes black mats or strata of organic rich soil that have been identified at over 50 archaeological sites across 4 continents, mostly in North America and Greenland. Proponents have reported materials including the nanodiamonds, metallic microspherules, carbon spherules, magnetic spherules, iridium, platinum, platinum-palladium ratios, charcoal, soot, and fullerenes enriched with helium-3 that they interpret as evidence for an impact event that marks the beginning of the Younger Dryas. So proponents of the hypothesis claim that the data cannot be adequately explained by volcanic, anthropogenic, or other natural processes. It's been suggested that this boundary layer should be used as a local stratigraphic marker. And the consequences, the hypothesis that the impact event brought about the extinction of many species of North American Pleistocene megafauna, the animals of camels, mammoths, giant short-faced bear, bisons, and sloths, and other numerous species that the proponents suggest died out at the time. The proposed markers for the impact event are claimed to have contributed to the transition from Clovis culture to subsequent patterns, and so the supposed event is claimed to have triggered extensive biomass burning, the brief impact winter, and the abrupt climate change. The Younger Dryas, first recognized in Denmark in 1901 by Nikolai Hartz and Wilhelm Milthers, and the term was coined in 1912, but there were several speculative hypotheses connecting comets with climate events over the last 12,000 years that predates this discovery. In 2019, scientists reported evidence in sediment layers with charcoal and pollen assemblages, both indicating major disturbances at Pauco Bajo in Chile, in sediments dated to 12,800 years ago. And this included the rare metallic spherules, melt glass, and the nanodiamonds thought to have been produced during airbursts or impacts. Pilauco Bajo of Chile is the southernmost site where evidence of the Younger Dryas impacts has been reported. So these are only the impacts on land. We don't know, of course, what's under the oceans, but it looks like it's been all over the place. It's a matter of chance, of luck, where you're going to find the Younger Dryas Clovis Comet impact sites. So Pilo Bajo, southernmost site where the evidence of Younger Dryas impacts has been reported, it's been interpreted as evidence that a strewn field of Younger Dryas impact event may have affected at least 30% of the Earth's surface. Also, in 2019, analysis of age-dated sediments from a long-lived pond in South Carolina showed not just an overabundance of platinum, but a platinum-palladium ratio consistent with a terrestrial origin, as well as overabundance of soot, and a decrease in the fungal spores associated with the dung of large herbivores, suggesting large-scale regional wildfires and at least a local decrease in the Ice Age megafauna. In 2019, a South African team consisting of Francis Thackeray, Lewis Scott, and Philip Piethurst announced the discovery of platinum spike in peat deposits in Wonder Crater, an artesian spring site in South Africa, in the Limpopo province, near the town of Mungofong, situated between Pretoria and Polokwane. And the spike in platinum was documented in a sample dated 12,744 years ago, preceding a decline in paleotemperature index based on multivariate analysis of pollen spectra. So the drop in temperature is associated again with the younger Dryas, again, not just Chile, but also South Africa. It's consistent with the younger Dryas impact hypothesis and the first of its kind in Africa, supplementing evidence for platinum anomalies at more than 25 other sites in the world. And the latest finding, January 2022, James Powell compared the hesitancy in accepting the hypothesis to other initially controversial data such as continental drift, lunar impact cratering, and anthropogenic global warming. He also echoed Sweatman's remarks and suggested that a kind of groupthink had set in amongst critics. So this is also from wiki2.org concerning the younger Dryas impact hypothesis. I'll leave a link below for you for this. Please leave your comments and thank you for your support. Finally, support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.